Greetings, citizens of the internet. It's been quite a while since I did one of my here's my collection of a particular composer videos. I'm kind of coming towards the end of those for whom I've got a decent number, but I have still got several dozen for John Barry, and seeing as it was, or it would have been, his birthday this week, and I think the Batman Show are planning to do a video about his stuff soon. I thought I'd take the opportunity to run through quickly what I've got. So 7 or 8 on vinyl, some of which I've shown before. We've got Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which is on a gatefold sleeve. Yeah, it's that interesting, odd thing, because it's got kind of the actors singing on it and what have you. Michael Hordern and Peter Sellers and all sorts of people. Spike Milligan, Fiona Fullerton, Dudley Moore, Dame Flora Robson. Quite a mixture. The Black Hole, this is the one that I've talked about before, that was a massive bargain because I picked it up in the local library, hence the withdrawn stamps on the for 50p. This original Howard the Duck. This was a donation from my friend Jeff. This Out of Africa, I think, is one of the things that I've had the longest, because this was in the office at the cinema where my mum worked, and she brought it home when they closed, I think. Yeah, so that would have been into the 80s, into the very start of the 90s. Of course, with John Barry there are going to be a bunch of James Bond films with Diamonds Are Forever. I picked that up in Market Deeping Records in Lincolnshire. The Last Valley, that is very good. I think I got that from the Oxfam shop. Let me double check. Yes, I did. I got it from the Oxfam shop. How much did I pay for that? £3. That's not bad, is it? £3 for The Last Valley, which is, as I say, very good indeed. There, get back in that cover. There we are. Then we have a TER version of Jagged Edge. Picked that up quite recently. So that would have been in Kent somewhere, I would imagine. Yeah, as was The Day of the Locust. That was in a record fair in Canterbury. So that's my John Barry on vinyl. Then we have this thing, which was originally going to be called Swept from the Sea. And for some reason, for the UK market, they renamed it to Amy Foster. But it was after the booklets and the things, the disc itself had been printed. So their clever solution was to stick a sticker over the top of it to say Amy Foster. And you can see the sticker is supposed to go over the top of the original title and match the picture. But the person who stuck that sticker on decided not to do that and put it where so you could see both titles. Clever of them. Yeah, so that's, what was that? That was a late 90s. We have Body Heat. That's a Varese re-recording by Joel McNeely and the LSO. Sometimes Varese are not very good at back covers in terms of making them readable. We have a track listing there, but it's in a very fine font on black against a swirly grey background. And it's like, do you want us to be able to read this or not? Anywho, Born Free is an FSM Silver Age. It's not a long score, it's under 40 minutes, but it is a classic. Born Free. Born free, as the wind blows. On the subject of classics, there is of course Dances with Wolves, which won him an Oscar. Perhaps not so much a classic. This was, I think, might have been his last score. It was certainly towards the end. This was 2001, Enigma. Yeah, it's Kate Winslet and sort of Bletchley Park story, I think. Bit more early Bond from Russia with Love. I've got quite a few of these EMI Capital re-releases. Then we have a twofer on silver screen, Game of Death and Night Games. So Game of Death is kind of chop socky stuff. Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, and Night Games, for what I understand, is something of a sort of sexploitation film. I mean, it's got titles like The Lesbian Tango, The Wet Spot, Water Sports. Possibly not John Barry's classiest pair of movie choices there. What else have we got? We've got, that's more like it, Goldfinger. He's the man. Indecent Proposal. Yeah, that's got a 25 minutes instrumental suite and then a bunch of songs. Back on the FSM Silver Age Classics, we have King Kong. That is calling itself Deluxe Edition. Yeah, it's a 2-disc version. Oops. It's good. Then we have another Oscar winner. He is The Lion in Winter. That's on Legacy in Columbia. Yeah, paid a tenner for that in HMV. Oops. In 1995. Yeah, this is John Barry kind of making his music teacher proud by doing proper classical stuff rather than the kind of popular beat combo things that he made his name with. Some latish Bond. We have The Living Daylights, 1987. And The Man with the Golden Gun, not my favourite title song, I've got to say. Lulu a bit screechy in my opinion. Another classic, of course, Midnight Cowboy. That's obviously a mixture of score and songs. Then we have lots more Bonds in a row. We have Moonraker, more Shirley Bassey classicness, and Octopussy, Roger Moore getting on a bit. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. This never happened to the other fella. With the great We Have All the Time in the World, Louis Armstrong. It's just a classic song, isn't it? Raise the Titanic. A film that was a notorious, massively expensive flop. I think the famous line was, well, it would have been cheaper to lower the Atlantic. Anyway, yeah. The Scarlet Letter. I really like that one, actually. That's quite a late one. 95. Adaptation of what's his name? Nathaniel Hawthorne, is it? Goodness me, I can't remember. But yeah, I really like that score. Somewhere in Time. That's about the dullest back cover you could imagine. It's not an awful lot of effort being put into that. Smacky Hands, the people at MCA. The Specialist. Sylvester Stallone and Sharon Stone. The Specialist. Not a title or a set of stars to be discussed if you've got a lisp. Then we have talk about rubbish films. Star Crash. This is just kind of crying out for the film crowd B-Movie Mondays stuff. It's David Hasselhoff and the glorious Caroline Munro. There she is. One of those in the wake of Star Wars films. I mean, 1978, so right in the wake of Star Wars, but not quite at the same scale of quality. We have The Tamarind Seed, which was very recently reissued by Silver Screen. That's a 2021. That's Omar Sharif and Julie Andrews. We have a couple more Bonds. We've got Thunderball, where the main title song famously had a long closing line note that made Tom Jones faint when he sang it because he held it too long. View to a Kill. Again, Roger Moore showing his age a little bit there, but the Duran Duran song's quite fun. And this one is Walkabout. But because Walkabout is quite a short score, the people at Silver Screen, is this Silver Screen? Yes, have also added some bits and bobs from other scores on it. Seance on a Wet Afternoon. It's a very creepy sort of film, that. Until September, The Corn is Green, The Betsy, and bits from Alice's in Adventures in Wonderland. They Might Be Giants, which I've got on a compilation somewhere, but I forgot to go and get that. And you only live twice, or so it seems. You know, Connery era stuff. And you may have noticed that I'm going alphabetically through these. So, what's the last one? What's the one I'm coming to next? It's a toilet in an animal park. It's a Zulu. Sorry. Zulu. Zulus. Thousands of them. That, well, I've got a compilation, 2-disc maybe a 4-disc thing, big fat box that I bought in a charity shop for like a 25p or something ridiculous, because it was missing the front cover. But the discs were all fine. That, I think, is me lot for Mr. Barry. Yeah, it's not a bad collection, I think. Nice representation of the whole mixture between classics, popular classics, and unpopular B-movie twaddle. So, yeah, that's all from me for tonight. Till next time, stay fresh, cheese bags.